What's up? What's up? Welcome to the Knowledge Business Blueprint. Tony and I are so excited to have you here.
Thanks for joining
right
us.
now. Yeah. Listen, there couldn't be a better time in history for you to take action. I think you saw some of the stats, 355 million a day.
That's, $129 billion industry that you could be a part of that allows you to do something. It isn't just selling widgets. It's changing people's lives, changing your own life first, because the precursor of being involved in this business is you're either going to be a person who's an expert and you're looking to take information that you've figured out over your life and help other people improve their business or their life in some way, or you're going to be a knowledge broker. You're going to be somebody that I was originally, who promoted, in my case, Jim Rohn, the original speaker that I loved, and I wanted everybody to know what he had. And so I figured out how to get him in front of larger and larger audiences. And then eventually that led to me personally being the expert. But one of the ways that happened was the third way you can do this. You can be kind of be the modeler or the reporter, where you interview the best of the best and then bring your report to people. Well, that made me an expert over time. And we both have done, you've done two of those jobs.
Yes,
you were never a knowledge broker, right?
No, not knowledge broker,
But
all
you
the
built all that your own, the
Yeah.
same way, right? So you have a chance to be part of an industry where you get to really master self-education and become someone who gives people that power. Today, look at the statistics. How much does it happen? University cost has gone up. Was it 8 times?
University costs 8 times while jobs have stayed flat. Out of people who graduate from college, only 27% of them ever get a job in that field, and 52% of those people hate the job they're in.
That means 73% of them never use any of the education they spent $50,000 or $100,000 a year for 4 or 6 or whatever number of years they went to school to make it happen. So our goal is to cut through all that and say, this is the new way to get educated. I don't know what my life had been like. I don't know what your life had been life if we weren't self-educated. If we just had a standard education, we'd have a standard life. But today, that power, that simple power of learning how to educate yourself, not by learning what anybody will tell you, not by going on the internet and learning anything. It's going for the people that have produced the results. It's finding people that are the best in the world and saying, what do they know? Or if you're the best in the world, what do I know? And how do I package that? How do I educate people? How do I put that in a product or a service that can change people's lives? Listen, I'm a kid from Azusa, California, and I can tell you right now, I had no role models, no example. We had no finance, we had no money for food. That's why I feed 100 million people a year through Feeding America now. It's not because I'm such a good person. I know what it likes like to suffer. But all that changed. I have this privilege today to travel the earth, helping millions of people, doing what I love, making a difference, having a life of meaning. And this young man has done the exact same thing. This is what the beginning is for. So we welcome you here, but we also want to challenge you. We want to tell you what the course is about, but challenge you to not let this sit on the shelf. I'm thrilled you're watching this right now. So many people buy a course just like a book and it sits on the shelf. And today with this, 24/7, 365, it's available to you anywhere. It's easy to kind of go, well, I'll get to it later. So part of our initial introduction here is to just make sure that you've scheduled the time so you get the skills and we convert this into real impact and real economics for you as well.
Yeah, because if you think about it, what self-education, the reason we're so passionate about this and decided to do this, we've been friends for almost 10 years. We've talked about a whole bunch of things to do together, but this has been our passion because, listen, before we were joking before the camera went on, I said, if I didn't discover self-education, if I didn't discover this guy over 20 years ago, I said, the only way we might know each other is if you came to New York and you went through a drive-through and I asked you if you wanted to supersize that. Like I say,
or you came to Azusa and I did the same with
you.
this.
Self-education transformed our lives. And yes, it is a $350 million a day industry. But here's the thing. There's lots of different parts of the industry. What you're going to learn here is 3 specific parts. One is how to create a mastermind, online or virtual. You're going to learn the process of sharing through a workshop, online or virtual, or membership groups, high-level groups like your platinum group or my high-level groups. It doesn't matter where you are because like Tony said, you could be the expert, extract your knowledge, share it with the world. You could be the modeler, the reporter. I was on stage the other day and I said to the group of people, who in this room would pay me to be in a workshop to learn how to do real estate if I never did a real estate deal in my life? Nobody raised their hand. I said, but what if I traveled the world, found the 20 top real estate investors in the world, found their top 7 strategies, I compiled them, and I was going to share them? Who would want that now? The whole room raised their hand. So you could be the expert, the reporter of the knowledge and wisdom, or the knowledge broker where you're partnering up with an expert like Tony did with Jim Rohn. Now, let me just tell you the 4 parts of the course. And before I do, I want to share another statistic. People who are passive about an online course, only 9 to 12% of the people actually finish it. We're challenging you right now, Tony and I, at this very moment, not to be that 9 to 12%, but be the 100% who finish. And we have ethical bribes throughout the entire course to push you, in fact, pull you to the next level. Pass a couple tests, get extra bonuses from Tony and I that we've never released anyplace else. Yeah, things
and by the way, we're also, everything we're doing, we're trying to model for you you what you can do with your own courses in the future. We're trying to show
Absolutely.
you the best practices so you can do it at whatever level you want. And I hope as you're going through the course, you'll take some notes, not only what you're learning to extract from yourself, but the process. And if you
Yeah.
don't, it doesn't matter because we're going to take you through it. We're going to show you the best ways to structure a workshop. What's the best way to market it? What's the best way to package it? How do you set things up so you have the most impact when you're there? I mean, this is a thorough program we're thrilled to have you be a part of, but it's worthless if you don't walk through it. So, and literally schedule it, lock it down, because I know your life has all kinds of distractions and you're excited right now. But one thing that's so critical is when you have that state of excitement or commitment, you want to extract all
Yeah.
the results you
Yep.
can in that moment. I always tell people, don't ever leave the sight of setting a goal or making a decision without doing something in that moment that commits you to follow through. So we're going to ask you here before you turn this last little first video off that you figure out when are you going to do this and you lock it down. Whether it's going to be one of these little pieces a day or you're going to do one a week, whatever you're going to do, we want you to lock it down so it happens. So we're able to give you the value that you've really signed up for here.
Yeah, and as you go through the course, exactly. Don't let distractions get in the way. Don't let your life. Listen, you got excited. You pulled out a credit card. You committed to us. We don't take that lightly. But now it's your turn to take the action. In the first section, Tony's going to anchor in. Listen, I could watch this guy for forever. You transformed my life a long time ago. Tony's going to anchor in the action steps so you don't dabble in this. So that's the first part of the course. Secondly, going right into extracting your knowledge. So many times people get nervous and say, well, what will I teach? They could run $100 million a year company. They don't know what to teach. We created a methodical process to show you how to extract that knowledge, create a curriculum, and be able to make an impact. The second part of the course tells you how to fill it. This is how to get bodies in the room or bodies online so you could share that knowledge, make an impact in their world, and get paid to do it. The third part is how do you run an online event? How do you run it in person? How do you do what Tony and I have done step by step? And also you'll have the knowledge broker section or the reporter section. So if you're not the expert, if you're not the one with the skill, how do you easily work with other people so you can make an impact like he did with Jim Rohn?
And I didn't just do it with Jim Rohn, actually. I did it with a variety of people. Jim was just the first one. But what happened was, as I worked with all these people, I got as good or better than many of the people I was promoting. And then by doing this modeling process we're going to teach you, this, you can call it a reporting process, I developed a level of expertise that was superior to most people because it wasn't me. Even today, at this stage of my career, about 7 years ago, or 8 years ago, I got really upset with what was happening in 2008, I guess 10 years plus ago. But it wasn't until about 2010 that I did something about it because I said, somebody's got to do something about this financial world. I'm working with some of the smartest financial people in the world, Paul Tudor Jones, one of the top 10 financial traders in the world. And I thought, the great gift I could give is I have access. So I'm going to go interview 50 of the smartest people in the world, the Ray Dalios, the Carl Icahns, right? The Warren Buffetts of the world. I'm going to see if I can extract from them what they all do, even though they're different. What do they do together that makes them successful? And I got to tell you, I put that in a book, New York Times bestseller. I put it into another book, another New York Times #1 bestseller. But I also built in the back of that a $4 billion business, to give you an idea, just on that alone. I had no intention of it. It's just, it was that valuable. I also took what I learned and applied it to my own businesses and took some of my $50, $100 million business and turned them into multi-billion dollar businesses. So I do $6 billion a year amongst my companies now. I have no background, all self-education. So I want you to understand, this guy's done over $1 billion in business over the years, all self-education. So we're here to share with you what really works. But again, it means you got to get yourself starting with this first session.
Yeah. So real quick, let's get started. First thing you do though, is join the Facebook group so you could be around other people to inspire. You're having a lull day, go to the group, get inspired by other people extracting their knowledge and sharing it with the world. So join the Facebook group, start immediately. The first section of the course is going to be from this guy teaching you how to anchor in the foundation for success.
I want to show you how to create the initial momentum. The hardest part of anything is getting off the ground. Getting that rocket ship out of the atmosphere takes unbelievable energy, but getting outside the solar system doesn't take very much. So I'm going to show you what I do with the greatest athletes in the world, what I've done with my businesses, and it's so damn simple. Part of what we're going to try and show you how to do is take complex things and make them simple, because complexity is the enemy of execution.
Absolutely.
The more complex you make it, the less likely you're going to follow through. It's a lot harder to make something simple, but we've worked hard at it, and we've put a course together that should make it simple enough that anybody can take it and run with it and expand upon it, especially you.
Yeah, that's it. Let's get started.
Let's rock.